Everybody make it through all right on Wednesday?
Wednesday, God, that seems ages ago, but it's only a couple of days, isn't it? Yeah. Pretty much. Tim is struggling, so he's been playing through a thigh injury for the last week or two. So he's gone to have a scan. So we'll have to see how that is before we decide whether he's available or not. Privs has come through the training so far that he's done, so he should be available for Saturday.
In terms of minute management, is there anybody who you feel like overexerted themselves Wednesday that you might think is a doubt based on just minute management?
No, I think, they all, the lads who played 120 minutes, I mean, there was some that cramped up and had to come off, but cramp's not going to deter them from being available for Saturday. We've done a recovery when we got back. They had the rest of Thursday off, and then they're back training today.
I know that you never want to lose out on playing for a trophy, but now does this provide an opportunity to kind of refocus yourselves with the league ahead and things of that nature?
Not really refocused, because we played a game that we played well enough to win. So we were disappointed, but this is the next game now, so we just focus on that.
Is there anything you feel like the last Columbus game taught you about yourself that you're doing better at now?
Yeah, we looked at the game against Columbus. We caused them problems going in behind. We caused them problems when we had the ball at times. Defensively, we didn't shift as quick as we should have against them, and if you do that, they create overloads. So that's something that we'll learn from that last game.
I know that you mentioned that the 3-4-3 kind of presents like a plan B for you. Is that something where maybe you use this next couple of games to look at that just based on your personnel, or does Tim being out maybe put a stop and a pin on that because you're short another center back? Yeah,
that probably makes it tough to go and do, because Tim naturally gives you balance in that system with a left foot. If you go into that system now, you have no left foot. So it probably takes that away from us if Tim's unavailable.
In terms of Zaha, I know that when it came down to it, you said that he's been doing better in terms of getting in more dangerous areas. Is there a way to, I guess, create more? How do you get better opportunities for him to find more dangerous areas? He
may not get better opportunities if teams keep, doubling up on him. A lot of teams do double up on him. They do get really tight with him as well. I think he's still the most foul player in the league at the moment. Somebody passed me something where people have been dismissing his effectiveness so far, but they didn't mention at all about being the most foul player in the league. Wolf's okay by me, and he'll create more. He'll create more, that's for sure.
Where are you at with the level of play your defensive midfield is at currently?
We're okay. I think we've been playing Westy and Bronico for the majority of it. I think they do well at it. I think there's been too many individual mistakes that have cost goals over the last 4 or 5 games. And overall, I look at, we were probably overachieving early part of the season. Only five games ago we were top of the Eastern Conference. We're probably overachieving results-wise, and we're probably underachieving in the last 5 games results-wise, because we've deserved more points than we've got, and we've probably got more points than we deserved earlier.
I say this not as a way to criticize the guys who replaced him, but what do you miss when you don't have Nathan Byrne out there?
Listen, fullbacks, we've lost, the common theme in the last 5 games is we've lost Nathan, we've lost Doumbia as well, that give us natural fullback position. Nick Scardina, he's had to come in, he's done really well, making his debut, and you remember last year he was playing as a right winger, and we've converted him as a fullback. So, but he's coming along. Marshall Rutte, a different system. He's been used to playing in the 5 most of his career at Toronto and Montreal. So again, different system, and unfortunately they've had to be thrown in the deep end and sink or swim, and they're breaststroking at the moment.
Last for me is Pat being named to the U.S. men's training camp. What does it mean to have him at least being a part of a squad that could go and win a major trophy?
Yeah, really pleased for Pat. I think it's a big boost for him as well. It shows what they think of him and when he's been in the national squad. Disappointed for us, obviously, because he'll miss games for us. But pleased for whoever gets called up.
I know I said last one, but how close is he done?
He's just downstairs, but no, he's. There's no time frame at the moment. We're just waiting on him being assessed again. He's still got some hamstring issue. It's not as bad as it was, but we're just waiting. He won't be ready for Saturday.
Nick?
All right. You talked about being a positive influence, especially during this spell. What have you done recently in talking about, like, showing them the positives of how they're playing?
Well, I thought the game on Wednesday, I was so disappointed for them because with the exception of the first 5 minutes where we didn't start the game particularly well, second half and extra time we're the better team. At 2-1 we missed 3 glorious chances to go 3-1 and take the game away from them. But some of our play was really good. I thought the energy levels, how we played, how we pressed, how we were comfortable on the ball. We should have resulted in a win in that game. So some of our play has been really good. We've been missing big chances. We created big chances in the game against Chicago at home. But we've been making big mistakes as well, which have conceded some goals. So, if we can, the big mistakes are unlike us. It wasn't something you saw a lot of us through the first 10 games of the season and last season. So, it's really speaking about that because it should be an easy fix when it's individuals. So that's what we've been talking about really.
And then with Columbus being such a possession-oriented team, I think they're highest in the league in that. You got to be really patient and find your spots. Is that kind of a key? And I know you don't plan for the other team as much, but is that kind of like everybody? We just got to lock it in and then know when we have.
Yeah, I mean we've played Columbus 4 or 5. This will be the 4th time I think since I've been here. So we understand how they play. I know how they play. I think we've given them as many problems as other teams have in terms of when we get the ball and the problems that we can create, and they'll know that as well. But we've got to be better without the ball than we was at their place because that was our biggest problem. And one of them is being patient and disciplined, as you said, and we'll be talking about that today.
All right, and last kind of personal. You had a long career as a coach, and you said you've learned from having these spells. You're going to have winning streaks, and you're going to have losing streaks. Do you remember that first time you had that long losing streak as a coach and how you handled it and then maybe what you learned from it now?
Yes, yeah, you deal with it different ways. It all depends on the squad of players that you've got, the capabilities that your squad's got, the games that you're playing. What are we, 3 games? 3 defeats on the spin, is it? Or what is it? 4?
It is 3 in MLS, 3 in all comps.
3 in all comps.
5 in MLS play.
Yeah. Well, what is it? And then that's the thing. Is it? Have we lost 5 on the spin, or have we lost 3 on the spin because of all comps? And it all depends on the narrative at times. So 4. Yeah. So our job is to go and break that narrative and just win a game. Cheers.
All right. Thanks, Dean. Appreciate it.
Thank you.